I think many of us as human beings maneuver our way through life gathering stuff. And I don't just mean physical stuff, but thoughts and feelings and beliefs and experiences, and they all imprint themselves on our body. And the thing is, sometimes some of them aren't even true. Some of them are not even aligned with who we are. Some of them were given to us / gifted to us. And it's only when we get a bit older that we might sit back and reflect and go, actually, that doesn't work for me, or I don't agree with that, or I need to let that thing go because it doesn't serve me. And one of the things that people talk to me all the time, especially since I've been doing this daily habit of running for 15 minutes, but throughout my whole time of being a coach, is lots of people talk about this sense or this belief of not being able to stick at habits. So there's often this sort of circle of like, I start something, but I never finish. I do something for a while and then it's a stop-start. And what then happens is that they then carry the belief that they're not going to be able to do it anyway. And so what happens is that comes true. It's the self-fulfilling prophecy, that sense of like, well, it's probably not going to happen, so I'll give it a go for a week and see what happens. So I want to give you some tools today, some things to think about, and I want to invite you to join the 100 Club and to give it a go for yourself. Now, there are various ways you can do this. You can do the online course version of the 100 Club and get that daily video each and every day. Or we can work side by side together doing this work and just seeing what happens. Number one, here's something that happens a lot. Many people are not set up to succeed. So I often think that before you start something like this, before you make a change, you have to set yourself up like you are going on a scout trip that is going to be, it's a random analogy, that you're going to be in the pouring weather. You know those moments, I remember, I think I just did one Duke of Edinburgh away thing. Not for me, really. I much prefer Glastonbury. But again, Glastonbury is a good example, although you can buy stuff. But if I went back to the Duke of Edinburgh thing, I wanted to not be stuck in the middle of a field, not having everything that I needed. So I had things for all eventualities, and I wanted to be warm and dry because I knew that if I got piss wet through on the first night, I was not going to enjoy myself. So making those clear decisions of like, what do I need? What do I need to put in place? Really set me up for success. It's the same with your goals. If you approach it with that sense of like, I don't know, I'll just see what happens. I don't know, we'll just wing it and I'm sure it'll be fine. It'll work out. Yes, it might, but it may only work out for a short amount of time, or it may not get you the ultimate results that you want. Number two, sometimes my clients have not spent enough time playing in the vision of what if I could actually do this. So one of the things that I did with this 100 Club is, what would actually happen if I became the person that I wanted to be, who had a daily consistent exercise routine? And I may be counting my chickens early here, but I really think I've nailed that. I'm 130 something days in now, and I'm into it. Like, I run every day. It's like I eat my breakfast every single day. It's just part of who I am. And that is really interesting to play around with. And yet, previously, I had spent a lot of time in conversation with the identity of myself, who would say things like, oh, I do exercise for a bit and then I get a bit bored. or sometimes something gets in the way, or I start something but I never quite see it through. So instead of paying attention to that story, I started to pay attention to thinking about, okay, what would be possible? And then as soon as I started to think about that identity, that version, I was like, oh, I'm going to do that then. That sounds way more exciting, rather than being in this mentality of like, I was going to do it and then I didn't. And yeah, no. Number 3, I really lowered my expectations this time. And I caught myself saying, I could run for half an hour every day. Why don't I do 3 hours a week? Why don't I mix it up? Why don't I make this complicated system? And I had to keep coming back to basics, because my creative brain wants to do all of these things, but the reality may not be in support of that. And so I had to lower my expectations, and I had to make it so doable that it became about getting the point, or getting the sticker, getting the tick for the day. Because what I found was, once I got that sticker, oh my goodness, I dined out on that feeling of like, I'm the person who is running. This is day 37. This is day 16. This is day 68. That was such a momentum builder in terms of moving forward, that it began to change my identity in that way. And the final one is, I think you have to start really small. If I thought about the 100, I actually didn't think about 100 Club. All I started was thinking, I'm going to start this and I'm going to see how I go. So actually, based on that language, I'm really surprised I've gone as far as I can. But in my head, maybe, if I'm honest, I had 3 weeks in my head. Like, if I can do this for 3 weeks, because I've sometimes played around with this with sugar. If I can come off sugar for 3 weeks, I remember I did that in like 2013, and I blew my own mind. Like, I can't believe I've cracked it. Oh my goodness. I've weaned myself off. And then of course it comes back into my life again, identity shift. But I just thought, if I could get to 21 days, oh, that would feel so good. But actually I got to 21 days with, I mean, not saying no effort, but it wasn't difficult. It wasn't a stretch. Like, once I was into it, I was into it. So that is when I expanded. Could I get to 50? Could I get to 75? Could I get to 100? Could I get to 100? Like, that's when I started to think about it. And so in this moment, I want you to think about how this could play out for you. And maybe you're not thinking about the 100. Maybe you're thinking about the next 20. So do that and come and join me. Come and join me in the 100 Club, either doing the one-on-one time with me. You need to send me a message if you want to do that. And let's have a chat about what you want to achieve, what you want to work towards. And also you can just do the online course where, your socks will be well and truly knocked off. You get a video every single day, and that support and that momentum. And I can't wait to see what happens for you. Lots of love. Bye.